YouTube? It's your boy Geek Samurai coming to you back with another video, man. In this video, I want to give you my full spoiler review, my full spoiler talk for Aladdin. I just came back from seeing that joint, and let me tell you, man, I was thoroughly pleased with this movie, man. Bruh, this movie was very, very good. Now, I'm a diehard Aladdin fan. I go hard for Aladdin. I've watched that movie more than I could count 10 times on my fingers, 10 times on my toes. Aladdin is my #1 all-time great Disney movie ever. And I had to go see this joint opening night. I had to. I just looked up the first time that it was showing, and I'm like, yo, I don't care. I'm pulling up. Now, I have to vote this and rate this if it was hot or not. And you already know I'm going to say it was hot. Let me know those who've gone to see it opening night tonight, or you're going to go see it. I really want to know y'all input on this movie. Please comment down below and let me know. If it was hot, hit hot. Type hot and send that to me. If it was not, send that to me. Because let me tell you, I'm about to give y'all the full spoiler. I'm not even going to wait. I'm not going to wait for the embargo to lift or whatever. I'm going to give it to y'all head on. So if you have not seen this, the thumbnail is already going to say spoiler talk. So don't hit that. Don't hit my video. But if you have seen it, let's begin. So first, I just love the beauty of Agrabah, man. It's a beautiful city. To see it go from animation to live action, Guy Ritchie put his foot. Like when Aladdin finally gets the lamp and he summons the genie so he can get out of the cave of wonder. He finally gets his wish to become a prince. Just when they go into Agrabah and the princess and the sultan, everybody, Jafar, everybody's looking at Prince Ali. Yes, he is he. Ali Ababwa. When they start singing that song, the colors, the city. Oh my gosh, yo, that city just looks so fantastic. That's the first thing I want to get out the way with this movie. That city is fantastic. Second thing I want to get out, the MVP of this movie is Naomi Scott, who plays Princess Jasmine. She kills this role, guys. You want to talk about when she talks, her presence is felt. The whole room is silent and they're attentive. That is Naomi Scott. And that was my first Disney princess that I ever fell in love with growing up as a kid. I had the utmost crush on Princess Jasmine. Princess Jasmine was like the wife I've always wanted, the queen, the princess that I've always wanted to meet, yo. And Naomi Scott delivers. When she first comes down, when she first get that first visit from the prince of the movie to come and, take her hand in marriage, and she's wearing like this royal robe, and she's coming down the stairs, the palace steps of Agrabah, and you see the robe just, trailing, but following behind her, look like a wedding gown, bruh. The jewelry that she was wearing, she looks so freaking beautiful, man. Great casting, Guy Ritchie. I give you props for that, man, because she was a perfect cast role for this, man. Straight facts. Oh, my gosh. And the song choice that they gave her, that she would not be silent. She would not be quiet. When Jafar was trying to tell, the Arabian Knights, the soldiers, to take her away, she's like, I would not be silent. And then she came out with her own musical. I knew that's what Disney does. When they do these remakes, they add music selections to these movies. They give you the original movies, they give you the original songs, but then they make more songs so you can have a nice soundtrack. And I'm gonna be getting this soundtrack when it drops because it was fantastic. Oh my gosh, man! Naomi Scott killed it for me. She stole this movie from me, man. Next, what I want to get into, the Genie. Will Smith. It was a refreshing take on the big blue genie, man. Nobody's ever going to top Robin Williams. Ever. That is straight facts. Robin Williams is the OG genie. But Will Smith was a refreshing he was just a refreshing piece of this movie, man. From when he had his own family, you know what I'm saying, on a boat, he was talking to his kids or whatever, telling the story. I loved it. And when he was singing along, I loved it. You ain't never got a friend like me. He put his hip hop spin on it. It wasn't just like a sing along or doing his own. Like Will really put his creative juices. Like the times when he was with Fresh Prince, he really put his own fresh spin on it, man. That's why I said that his role as a genie is very refreshing. He's the OG Fresh Prince. You know he's gonna put his fresh take on everything. He killed it, man. He was a fantastic genie for me. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a diehard Aladdin fan. Y'all know Robin Williams is number one. Anybody who's a Disney Aladdin fan would know that. But to see Will Smith portray the genie in a live action role, it was great. And the CGI didn't bother me. He looked realistic to me. I didn't think he was. Yeah, most people would probably want a practical effect. From the time he came out of the lamp, Aladdin gave his first wish. Even before Aladdin gave his first wish and they were in the Cave of Wonders, just to sing along, he said, "Oh, I'm gonna bust us out of here." You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the genie. I'm gonna show you. Got him out, and there were some beats. There were some right beats that I felt were just hitting it right there with Robin Williams. But in Will Smith hip hop, spin his hip hop take on it, I loved it. I loved it. Even when Will Smith was Jafar's, genie, I liked how he became serious. He wasn't all jokey. He wasn't all friendly. And he came out the lamp, gave Jafar his wish, made him a sorcerer. First he made him a sultan, then a sorcerer, then a genie. I loved it. Will, thank you, Will. Yo, you can never, for me, you can never go wrong with Will Smith, man. I'm a diehard fan of his. I always will be. Thank you, Will Smith. You killed it. Now we want to talk about one of my least favorites, I would say, of the movie. Everybody got their own comments or their own, what they like, what they don't like. I just gave you a little bit of what I like. The only thing I didn't like, I wasn't really feeling the Sultan. The guy who played the Sultan, the only beat that hit for me was when he was crying at the end, when his princess was his wife, not his wife, or he talked about his wife, passing on and dying. And he had that intimate moment with his daughter, Princess Jasmine. But what I really liked the most about the Sultan was when Princess Jasmine was being taken away. And he said, "Don't you touch her." And you see the tears come out. And then she comes back after she sings her musical. She comes back and yells out, "Jafar!" It's like he's seen his baby girl grow up. From a little princess to a baby girl. She's smart. She's independent. She's headstrong. Yo, you see the tears come out of his eye. And then when he passed on the ring, when he passed on the crown from being, he didn't want to be Sultan anymore and he gave it to her. I love that. That was a touchy moment. But there was just some moments that took it out for me when in the beginning, when he was first being mind controlled, I didn't feel like he was really giving his all into the mind control when Jafar was controlling with that Cobra staff. So just certain times when he was talking, like when the prince was coming in to introduce himself to the Sultan and to the Princess Jasmine, when he was telling Princess Jasmine, "Don't act like that. This is a prince. He could be your future." I wasn't feeling it. I feel like they could have cast somebody better to play Sultan. But like I said, the only beat that I felt was when he had that intimate moment with his daughter. And he passed on that crown to her. He gave her the ring. "You're the Sultan now." I was like, whoa, that's what's up. And he's like, "Go find Aladdin. He's a good man." I felt that. I loved that. That was dope. All right, one another thing I didn't like too much was Jafar. His voice was just annoying throughout the whole movie. Like, he just got that high-pitched voice. And I'm so used to the Jafar in the animated movie when it was deep and he looked older. This Jafar was handsome. He had the well-groomed beard and everything. He was convincing, though, when he told Aladdin, "Yo, I can make you rich. You think the princess sees you now as a street rat? I can make you rich where you could get the girl. All you have to do is just grab the lamp." He was very convincing, though. But at the end, when he started getting on his temper tantrums and, Will the genie made him a genie, not just a sultan or a sorcerer, but when he became an actual CGI genie, it looked bad, man. It looked bad. Like I'm like, dude, he didn't even have the genie ears. He didn't have the ponytail. It was just his same face, but in a big muscular genie body. And when they put the shackles on him, I love the lamp that he was getting sucked into. That came straight from the animation. But I didn't like the CGI look. It looked like it wasn't done. It wasn't done, man. And another part is when he walked into the parrot. When he walked into the parrot, I wasn't feeling that, man. I was like, bruh. And then the parrot became this big ass parrot with razor sharp talons as claws. It just didn't look good. I don't know if he walked into it or he used his sorcerer power. Whatever it was, I wasn't feeling it. And he was yelling and screaming, like, stop screaming. Your voice is annoying. I wasn't feeling it. But other than that, he was a pretty convincing villain to convince Aladdin to go get the lamp. That was pretty good. I give him props for that. He didn't put on a disguise like an old man, like in an animated series, and visit Aladdin in prison. He kind of had like a blindfold over him, like a bag to make sure he didn't see where Jafar was taking Aladdin. And then the soldiers pulled the bag off his head, and they were sitting in the desert when Jafar was talking to him, and he said, yo, I used to be a thief too. But I was thinking bigger. I looked at a bigger picture. I was feeling that. I was like, yo, that was pretty good dialogue between them. I loved it. I felt that chemistry. He's trying to get Aladdin, the street rat, the diamond in the rough, to go get this lamp. I was feeling that. But overall, I didn't like his voice, and I didn't like him walking into the parrot. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't feeling it. I was like, yo, really? And then when he became the CGI genie, that took me out. Because I really wanted to see if they were going to make him turn into an actual cobra. Like in the animation, when Aladdin was fighting Jafar, he actually became a cobra. I thought they were going to do that. Didn't happen. It probably would have been, it's probably more in the budget of making the movie to do that. So they probably had like I guess a gap, or they had like a limit to how much they could spend into putting certain CGI effects into motion. But other than that, those are my little nitpicks about Jafar and then the Sultan. But overall, I love the scope of this movie, man. From the beginning when he was, in the streets of Agrabah doing the parkour, I love that. To the point where Jafar, he teleported him to like the far ends of the earth where it's all snowy and stuff, and he went to save, Abu. I was feeling him doing the whole parkour thing with that, and then the magic carpet found him. But my favorite part of this movie, bro, is when he went and he snuck into the palace twice. He snuck into the palace twice. But the second time is when he actually was on the balcony. Because this is when the handmaiden went off with Will, the genie, and they went on for their stroll. Will's trying to get to know her, make her his wifey, his girl. I love when Aladdin went to visit Princess Jasmine and he said, do you trust me? Because that, even in the animation movie, that part reigns true for me, man. Like the song, not only the song, like A Whole New World, that song had to connect to me. But when he said, do you trust me? And he put out his hand and she said, yes. And he grabbed it, and then they went on the magic carpet and they started singing together A Whole New World. That was dope. I loved it. And in animation, they were actually on a building looking down at the parade or the festivities that was going on in Agrabah. But in this movie, they were on the carpet and they were looking down at everybody partying. There's like a campfire going on. I loved it. It was so good. It was good. That scene had to be felt. I had to feel it, man. And I did. Kudos to Guy Ritchie for putting that in. Overall, and now I want to talk about my man himself. The main dude, Aladdin. The guy who played him. I didn't get a chance to look up his name. I thought he was a terrific Aladdin. I felt him being Ali, going from Aladdin to Ali. I felt it. I felt the chemistry between him and Will Smith was on point. The comedic beats was there. When they were in the party and she finally was by herself, I love the part where Will was like telling her, okay, now showtime, you need to go talk to her. And he's like, no, I'm in charge. You ain't going to tell me. It was in the trailer. So you already seen it. And then Will Smith just took his little finger and was like, yo. And he used a little pixie dust. And then he he made Aladdin go and actually like, he looked like he was moonwalking backwards to go to Princess Jasmine because he was such afraid. I love that. And the chemistry between Aladdin and Jasmine was on point too. I was a little disappointed because when they did the whole new world trip around Agrabah and everything, when he finally took her back to the palace, and you know the carpet in the animated series, the carpet nudged he nudged Aladdin to go get in closer to kiss Princess Jasmine. There was no hesitation. As soon as the carpet nudged him, their lips locked, and you could feel it in the animated series, in the animated movie. But when they did it here in live action, he kind of hesitated. The carpet nudged him to go forward to lean in for the kiss, and he looked at her, and then it was like a little peck or something. It wasn't like a real kiss. You don't feel that real kiss until they actually come together. She's like, yo, hey thief, when they meet each other in the streets of Agrabah because he left without saying goodbye. They actually kissed in the street. That's when you really feel their kiss. But overall, throughout the entire movie, I love their chemistry. When she was in the streets of Agrabah in the beginning, when she was like disguised, she had a hoodie on or her head wrap, and he tried to get her away from the soldiers. They were escaping and everything. I did feel that. I loved the chemistry from start to finish. It was so good. Perfect casting, man. Naomi Scott, like I told you, is the MVP. She's the most valuable player of this movie, man. She outshined Will. She outshined the dude who played Aladdin. Facts. Because her presence. And like I said, this is 2019. I am so on board for our females today. I want our females to be more, upfront. I want them to be outspoken. I want them to be headstrong. I want them to be independent. I love to see strong, powerful women, whether it's in the movies or whether it's in my everyday. I like to see independent women who know what they want, who know who they are, and they're going to go get it. And you're going to hear it. I don't like my women quiet, man. I want them to be able to talk and to speak proudly and confidently. You know what I'm saying? So, Naomi Scott, yo, you did a hell of a job, and I recommend everybody to go see this movie just because of her. If you don't feel like this movie is going to be great, okay, maybe you don't have to see it, but I'm advocating for this movie. Go see it. Not because I'm a diehard Aladdin fan. That's already a given. You already know that I am at the beginning of this video. I'm telling you to go see this movie because her presence on screen, bruh, you're going to be locked in whenever she opens her mouth and she starts speaking. You're going to be drawn in, man. I want to see her do more roles because she is fantastic. So overall, guys, I really enjoyed this movie. And I have to say this movie's hot. I love it. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm going to have to give this a 5 out of 5 bruhs. Like, if I had a scale, I'm going to try and be creative with my videos and have a scale doing my bruhs. Because, I say bruh in like all my sentences. So I want to rate my movies. I want to rate all my, my TV shows, everything that I watch and I do reactions to. 5 out of 5 bruhs. And this movie is a 5 out of 5 bruhs. Son. I could do 10 out of 10. But that's so cliche. I want to do 5 out of 5 bruhs. Bruh, go see this movie. Support it. Please, I'm begging you guys. And I don't beg. Please go see this movie. Aladdin. Disney did it again. This is another. Out of all the Disney movies, like Cinderella was good. Beauty and the Beast was Maleficent was You know what I'm saying? But Jungle Book was great. That's another 5 out of 5 bruhs. For right now, out of the Disney movies that came out, only 3 of them I think was really good. Cinderella, Jungle Book, and now Aladdin. This movie was so fantastic. I felt it. I loved it. I was drawn in. The chemistry between the characters was so good. Agrabah was beautiful. Princess Jasmine, that is like my first crush ever. When I started to like girls growing up, I never believed in cooties. I didn't know what cooties was. But I wanted to find somebody like Princess Jasmine, bruh. Straight up. She was my first crush. And Naomi Scott. Mwah! Guy Ritchie, you the man. I like you in your movies like Snatch. I even like King Arthur. That was a good movie too. And that movie bombed in the box office. I don't care. Guy Ritchie put his foot in this movie. He took time to create these characters. He took time when making Will Smith look good as the Genie. He took time with Aladdin and building that chemistry with Princess Jasmine. He took time casting the right Princess Jasmine. Naomi Scott is fantastic. So, all right, guys, let me know what y'all think. Let me know if y'all going to go see this movie. Let me know if you're not going to see this movie. If it's hot or not. I want to know. Because I want this movie to do buku dollars in the box office. I really do. So anyway, guys, like, subscribe, share Geek Samurai. And until next time, I'll see you in another video. Peace.